Good evening, everybody. We have the final game of the finals of the No Logic tournament happening here right now. I'm joined by JP Silvergun.
Hello, Type. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fine. So this is the last game. Malmo was given a game up by virtue of having won the winner's bracket. Chex was the winner of the loser's bracket and he won the first game of the finals, forcing this final game of the No Logic finals. And we are off.
What do you want to see from this seed, Type? Anything in particular?
I want to see Dark Buyer Armos. That's what I want to see.
I tried to do that, and it's a little tricky.
So,
but who knows? Maybe Chex has been working on it.
So I doubt either player's worked on it. But we see our first relevant item there. We have the GT Big Key out of Bonk Rocks. That is one of our cave state keys. So often you will see players prioritize going to the front of escape to kill the ball and chain guard for the Hyrule Castle key because they want a cave state key, which the Hyrule Castle key is. So now that is no longer necessary to get a cave state key, and that can change the way people route. I didn't quite see that item on the lumberjack. I think it was a small key.
I missed it as well, but Malmo got the mushroom from the Hylia Island, which has proven this year to be actually a potentially powerful item if they don't have the lamp or powder to set index for misslotting. So that could be something interesting, or it could be nothing. We'll see if that becomes relevant this seed.
So Chex is a Sank starter, and one of the reasons is he likes to put off this sequence that Malmo is doing in hopes of having 500 rupees when he does it to be able to check Zora. So Malmo will likely orphan Zora and hope that it's nothing. Malmo's trying to swim into the wall here. It's not working for her right away.
Yeah, doing it on this kind of a slope, yeah, it's a little tricky.
Yep. Oh, there we go, she gets it.
Meanwhile, Chex is giving us the new DMA, which may not be that new anymore, but that's what it's called nonetheless. Entering the old man rescue cave with no glove.
Yep, new as in people did other things for many years, and this is new as in 2-ish years ago, something like that. But players like to eschew going to Kakariko early because they want things for Kakariko and for Desert, which they will usually clip to just after Kakariko. So they'd like a bottle to check Sick Kid. They'd like something to go from Desert to Thieves to open the attic while they're in Desert. They have none of those things, so both gonna put off Kakariko.
Ice Rod in the waterfall.
Yep,
this is a double rods format, but the rods can still be elusive in this mode sometimes.
Yeah, there are 2 of each rod in the item pool. That is to avoid a particular situation where Trinex has one of the rods and the seed is otherwise unbeatable that way. Crystal Trinex would have to be. We're getting a big key from Zorledge. Not that interesting.
Yeah, that kind of sucks that she walked all the way around and it's not even a very good big key, but it happens. It's one of a fetch quest big keys rather than one of the more useful ones. Green Pendant, Thieves Town. we find out on Chex's side.
A little tragic. Thieves is maybe the easiest dungeon to beat.
Yeah, right up there with Pod, probably. The first bottle in the back of Sahasrala's hut, so that is very important. It's also tree warpable if they want to do that at some point.
Yeah, we have... So Chex has a bow out of the thieves' hideout, so sadly there will be no Dark Mouse. Already unnecessary.
So for those that aren't aware, we're talking about a newly discovered way by one of our tournament participants, Mr. Bayer, to use quadrant glitches to bypass the bow requirement for Eastern. But generally, you want there to be light in the room to do the quadrant glitch. That's why Hikey Type is joking. And we have a hook shot in Cave 45. Very nice.
So we were talking with Malmo before the match about who was going to do comms. I said I'd want someone who knew the hook push stuff, and I was mocked, assuming there might be hook pushing. It looks like we're going to have some hook pushing today. We have the hook shot out of Cave 45, one of the elements, and the mushroom on the Lake Highlight Island is another part of that.
Yeah, not the most convenient way to set your index for a misslotting glitch, but it certainly is possible. So hook pushing is one of the misslotting glitches that we'll probably see. Other common ones are like Overworld Conveyor, or maybe a Murder Bomb, which we saw Chex do last night on Helmasaur.
It'll be interesting to see whether Malmo... I'm not sure what her tendencies are with Sahasrala, but she may not get that bottle before going to Kakariko. Although she does like to put off Kakariko.
Taking an unfortunate death there on the mountain. That, definitely can't happen when you only have 3 hearts and you're trying to clip with boulders in your face. Surprised she gave up on it, though. It's not really a big time loss. You could just start at the mountain again.
Yeah. Annoying with 3 hearts, though. Those boulders can knock you out pretty quick. But she is going to do Sahasrala. We'll have her bottle for Kakariko. So this will be interesting. Chex is about to finish Kakariko. We'll have to see what he does. Desert seems likely. So for those who may be seeing this for the first time, it's always a little tricky to know exactly how much to explain. We could spend the whole match explaining a small fraction of what's going on here and still not be done. But the items are placed without regard to logic. That's okay, though. We have so many glitches in this game that it is vanishingly rare for a seed to be unbeatable. I think the rule of thumb is if you get the book, it's basically impossible for the seed to be unbeatable. Even then, it's still basically impossible. I think the odds are something like 1 in a few quintillion.
Yeah, the way the game is set up and with the glitches that are known for this game, it would be a lack of knowledge on the player's part, not the seed actually being unbeatable. Which there's certainly not a lack of knowledge between these 2 runners.
So we talked about the rods. Gets rid of the possibility of an unbeatable seed due to a rod on Trunks. It also, in testing, people realized that it made Go modes a little more interesting. Otherwise, if you don't have 2 of each rod, you will almost always be looking for a rod for Go mode. And the double rods, 2 of each, makes it more likely that you're looking for something else for Go mode, and the things you have to do are a little more interesting.
Yeah, definitely. Because if you take so long to find your ice rod or your fire rod that you get all the big keys and the items you need to do the dungeons normally, that's honestly not very interesting. And we have a lamp on the floating island, so there will be hook pushing the seed.
Yeah, 10 minutes we have hook pushing. Easy hook pushing. Well, maybe not
without
too
a
easy.
sword. Well, yeah, well, he has silvers, so actually it's possible. But you need some kind of sparkles, usually a sword held out, charging.
Yeah, the ice rod will technically do, but it's a little less reliable, and Chex doesn't have that yet. But we're getting close.
Yeah, I forgot about the ice rod. You're right about that. It's definitely possible with ice rod as well. Some runners are better at it than others.
And that'll do it. So, Samarian Spiral Cave. So that'll... Getting very easy to hook push now.
Yeah, before they just had stuck pushing or double misslided hooks available. Now they have Samaria hook pushing potentially as an option coming up. Although you would like to have sword beams for that, but yeah, this seed is looking pretty free.
Malmo bonks the 5 rupee tree in Kakariko twice to get her 100 rupees for the bottle vendor.
I mean, it's faster than coming back later with no flute, I guess. So, gotta do what you gotta do.
Wow, and that is a sword in Paradox Cave that is dupable with a glitch called a tree warp. So we really had to start thinking about Go mode for at least Chex now. Oh.
Does Chex tree warp? I mean, I know he knows how, but I thought he was against it.
Okay, so the reason you're saying that is because there's a risk of corrupting your save file if you tree warp. That will require you to delete your save file and start over. So, given that risk, some players do not like to tree warp. However, if you know what you're doing, it's easy to eliminate or mitigate that risk. So,
especially with the moon pearl.
Yeah, question of whether players want to do that. I suspect both players will think about it, but Paradox Cave is a little bit far away from where you need to be, which is the Village of Outcasts, to do a tree warp. So I don't think they'll be thinking about it yet, especially when they want to know whether they need the fire rod, things like that. They'd like a second bottle.
Well, you can just do a fake flute to Village of Outcasts, though.
Yep.
But you're right, though. They won't need more information about the seed. So Malmo did a nice quadrant glitch in Desert to access the right side without using the key.
Yeah, unknown item out of that first chest. Unfortunately, another unknown item there in... Well, several unknown items there. Unfortunately, yeah. one of Malmo's gave her full health. I don't know if it was a piece or sank heart, but either way, she could not death warp the way she wanted. So we'll have to.
Yeah, we didn't see what was on Chex's side either with the bomb juke to King's Tomb from Mini Moldorm Cave.
Yeah, notably though, he did get the Turtle Rock map out of Mini Moldorm Cave, so he'll get that answer whether he needs those rods once he maps in the Dark World. This is a very fast seed, though. All these items: Pearl, Sword, Hookshot, Samaria Lamp. Could be... I'm not sure what Malmo's PB is, but Chex could be looking at a PB here.
Oh no, Chex was soft locked. Oh, so when you steal the race game item, if you push left instead of right, you get forced like deeper into the collision instead of out of it. That's unfortunate. Not a huge deal, but he's not gonna feel good about it.
I'm not sure. Okay, so Chex hasn't been to Desert, so that's his plan here. Malmo has not been to East Death Mountain, so that's her plan here. Ooh, she didn't go low enough, so she jumped out of bounds and I believe was soft locked.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that was or not. Maybe if she was in the wall. If you're in the clouds, you can walk down onto the bridge for sure. But I don't know. I think we're seeing a little bit of nerves from both players, understandably so.
So each covering ground the other has done. Then we will have some interesting decisions, although going to pod seems likely. And then Chex will want to do the water walking things that Malmo did to begin the game, now that he has his 500 rupees for Zora.
I don't know. If I was Chex, I would be dying to just pop into the Dark World for a map check, because he doesn't need the Fire Rod to go to the back of Skull Woods if that's a crystal. Like, the only thing he might need the Fire Rod for is Ice Palace or Cold Stare specifically, or for Trinex.
So we'll see. Chex might correct the camera to give us a peek at this. I think he did. To let us see this item. Yeah. Right, just bombs, and then this is a heart piece or sank heart.
Check's not getting a refill, but also has a lot of health for Death Warping, though.
Alright, so Malmo gets her Samaria, about to get her sword, and I think just the sword was the only thing of interest here.
Hey, so did Malmo not get the hook shot because of her problem in Desert with the heart piece?
Yeah, she does not have that hook shot. So she may end up trying to wait for a glove to go to that area to try to get K45 together with
Checkerboard, yeah.
Checkerboard and Agana.
Well, that's really unfortunate. Because they might not see a glove at all this whole seed. And going back to something you were saying earlier, I believe both of these runners have done sub-hour no logic seeds. I could be wrong about that.
So, I was being mocked before the race, thinking there might be hook pushing. We're just going to see a sub 20-minute hook push to get to Landmo here on Chex's side. And there it is.
Very nice. Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of doing the hook push to Landmo because you don't get to steal the key like if you do the spin YBA, but it's a choice that the runners have.
Malmo collects the Malmo rupee and skips other rupees instead. Okay, so she's going to get her pearl, but she's kind of orphaned that hook shot now.
Yeah, it looks like it. I mean, she might decide to go over there, but I agree with you. It does seem unlikely at this point.
Yeah, she's going to need an item to show up for her to want to go over there. Either a glove or maybe a mirror to do it. To do K45 with other things in the area. In the Dark World. Alright, so Chex is immediately going to beat Hera here. So what's Malmo gonna get out of Mini Moldorm Cave? I think just TR map was interesting. Didn't see that item there on the, I think that was the compass chest in Hera, but Chex's stream froze for just long enough to make me miss that item. Oh, he got the hammer somewhere. probably just got that in Hera.
That's so trolly when a weapon to kill Moldorm is in Hera, because you are usually hesitant to Herapod if you don't already have one. So pendant, that's information.
Yeah, so now he knows that Thieves Town is one of the other pendants, so he'll be wanting to clear other dungeons. Didn't get a look there at the King's Tomb item. Alright, so it looks like he's going to head to Pod after Hera now. Yeah, so beating dungeons is now relatively high priority. Good chance that any dungeon you don't know about is a crystal. And Pod is one of the most dense locations left anyway. Now I'm going to buy a bomb upgrade.
I was gonna say, you say that Pod is one of the most dense locations, but the last race, both runners skipped parts of it, and good items were left behind, so we'll see what happens with this Pod play.
Yeah, so for those who didn't see the first race of the finals, which is the only race of the finals so far, it came down to runners skipping different things in Pod. Chex got the lamp and the pearl, Malmo got the hook shot. Those were all in Pod, but each got those items, the other didn't. The lamp and the pearl ended up being more important for Chex to complete the seed faster. And Malmo going to follow suit in the Pod, does not have the hook shot yet. Alright, so Chex is getting the big key chest right away. Often you will do a glitch from Pod to get to Hookshot Cave afterwards. I suspect he's saying he will not do that now. He will instead do something else. I'm not quite sure how he's going to route Pod. There are a lot of ways to route Pod, but I don't think he's headed to Hookshot Cave afterwards.
Yeah, I think doing the juke or the quadrant glitch to get to Hookshot Cave is a lot less common if you already have the pearl, because there are other checks that are faster to do, I think.
Yeah. So both players skipping that chest in the arena, that is because they have Samaria, which makes that chest easy to dupe. So they want to save that for later to see if it's something like a sword that they want to dupe.
Yeah, using potions or the Cane of Samaria, they can write the closed chest flag to other rooms in the back of the dungeon, and we see the fire rod in the dark maze from Chex, and Malmo right behind him.
So Chex has the hook shot out of Cave 45 that Malmo doesn't, but Malmo has the ice rod out of the waterfall ferry that Chex doesn't. Could be interesting. Could be an interesting difference here. Who gets that? And whether we need that ice rod. That's a big question.
I'm dying to know, honestly. Neither of the runners has been in the Dark World at all yet, so we don't have any info other than the green pendant, Thieves Town.
Both filling up on rupees, expecting to do some glitches with to buy potions to do bottle glitches. Okay, so we're not interested in 2 swamp compasses. Looks like okay, Chex is going to Alright, so Chex is going to beat Helmasaur here. Malmo is doing some of the right side.
What Chex is doing is called statue drag to Helmasaur. If you somehow missed the rest of the tournament, this will be your first time seeing this, but this is just the way that you do it in No Logic. Using the statue pulling animation is the only way to juke a north-facing door. So, by bypassing the transition, and then manipulating the camera, we can end up directly in Helmosaur's room.
Alright, so Malmo's doing the right side. Chex has skipped these checks. Second fire
Chex
rod.
is having a little trouble.
So Chex is, yeah, so you need more health than Chex has to do the statue drag. So he's going to have to refill somehow. Yeah, looks like he'll just death warp.
Yeah, this takes 4 hearts minimum if you're on green mail and do not have the mirror to do this.
Oh, that's okay. So very nice heart drop there from the mini Helmosaur. Every heart counts here. Malmo is right behind Chex, going into the statue drag.
Yeah, I can't say I've seen Chex miss the statue drag before. Maybe he is feeling a little bit nervous, but the second bomb placement in the door, timed with Link's position with the pulling animation, is fairly precise, though.
Yeah, so interesting items still available. Depends if Swamp is a crystal, that would make the flippers valuable. If it is. The mirror would be nice for movement and access. The flute, same story. And then a big question remaining is the Meyer medallion. You can beat Meyer without the Meyer medallion, but it costs a couple minutes doing some exotic tricks.
Yeah, Malmo is probably praying that Swamp is a pendant because she doesn't have the flippers. Because there's some tech that not many runners in this tournament do that bypasses the flipper requirement in the front of Swamp. But I guess it doesn't matter because if she finds the hook shot, that is not going to be relevant. But for right now, Swamp is awful for Malmo.
So Chex was considering a murder bomb there, I think. But thought better of it. But both are now in the Helmosaur fight. Chex has that hammer out of Hera that Malmo does not. So she has to use bombs.
Bombs is honestly safer with this broken camera, but
They both have
either
the
way.
silver. Yeah, both have the silver arrows, so there's no issue with the second phase.
Yep.
Yeah, so there's some keys that would be nicer than others, like the Turtle Rock Big Key if Turtle Rock is a crystal. Not much else though, really. I guess if you found the Eastern Big Key and the other didn't, the other would have a little bit of work to open the Eastern Big Key door. Chex is just going to hook push to Armazo, I think, right?
Yeah, he can use the fire rod to set distance even though he doesn't have sword beams, so Chex can access the boss room directly from the front room of Eastern Palace, that's correct. TR is crystal.
Yeah, and Meyer is the last pendant, so no issue with the Meyer medallion. Does mean Swamp is a crystal. This is bad. Oh, and Malmo doesn't have that information. She does not have the Meyer map. So she's not going to know just yet. It does mean Chex needs that ice rod out of the waterfall fairy. So he'll have to sort of go out of his way for an overworld check or find the other ice rod.
Yeah, depending on where the other one is, this race could get really interesting. And once Malmo finds the hook shot in K45, her swamp problem will be completely solved, even without the flippers, but it's a good point she doesn't know about Meyer, but I don't know. She's unlikely to rush Vidi without knowing if it's a pendant or not.
Yeah, still,
hopefully she doesn't waste time.
Yeah, still, those two map checks are good news for Chex, bad news for Malmo here. Or mostly. The ice rod is a big issue. So if the second ice rod shows up, that would put Chex fairly firmly in the driver's seat at this point.
Yeah, it certainly would.
Right, so second bottle there in Hookshot Cave, that is very useful. Ooh, Chex looks like he's going to hook push somewhere. I think if he's doing it here, he's headed to...
Upper GT.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then you'll see him walk backwards for apparently no reason, but the real reason is to fix the camera.
Well, you want to get the item checks anyway.
Oh yeah, I was thinking of I saw someone do this to get to Aga2.
Yeah, that's important to remember to backtrack through these rooms to correct your camera. Otherwise, it's going to look interesting when you get to Moldorm, and it's not going to work out for you.
So third bottle there. Somewhere where Malmo's... So both of those bottles are going to be tough for Malmo without that hook shot. And even when she gets it, she'll probably have different priorities when she does.
That's true, but already having the Moon Pearl and Samaria, if she does find the hook shot, one bottle will be plenty enough.
Chex will probably head to... Yeah, he'll finish off Aga2 on this trip. You must do that.
He must do that.
Well,
I mean, it's good to get it out of the way.
Well, the point is, beating Aga2 is a requirement.
Oh, okay.
There are other ways to get to Ganon, but we require you to beat Aga2.
Yeah, that's true that that's a requirement. Just the way you phrased that just sounded a little amusing to me. Sorry. That, like, you must do it on this trip from Hookshot Cave. Sorry, my mistake.
So Malmo gets Mothula down, gets the crystal. She'll probably finish off the front here, I would think. She still wants an item. Malmo's not a... she might be willing to hook push. I mean, excuse me, tree warp, but she's not a fan. So she'll want to get a second sword some other way.
Yeah, I have not seen her do a hook or do a tree warp.
I saw her practice it. I think she can do it, but again, not a fan, and it's a long way to get from Paradox to the village for now.
I think tree warping is really good. I wish I had learned it sooner. There's some seeds that it's just free. Like if there's a sword on the Village of Outcasts screen, for example. Oh, there's one on the pyramid. No boy.
I'm not sure. That might have been dupable with an overworld YBA. I'm not sure.
I haven't tried it for that location. I know a lot of locations are definitely dupable.
What on earth is Chex doing? Looks like he's setting up an overworld hook push. Where is he going with it?
Fairy. This is Pyramid Fairy. This is part of the all bosses no EG run. That's how they get silver arrows.
Ah.
So when he gets the hook stuck on the fence, he's going to climb up the pyramid and get behind the door to Pyramid Fairy. And Malmo duping a glove to get mitts in Skull Woods, meanwhile.
Not sure that's going to be an advantage for her, at least long term. Why
not? It's more
so,
stuff.
Chex is definitely going to go to Skullwoods at some point. I'm not sure he'll be... It'll be... And a boomerang there, that's meaningful. That works. That helps with hook pushing in some ways. Anyway, Chex might not be interested in the front of Skullwoods by the time he goes there, though. So Chex has already done Pyramid Fair. He's setting up again to do some kind of overworld hook push.
Yeah, he's showing off his all bosses tech. This is a shortcut if he does it quickly. Of course, that hook push wasn't required to get here. You can just swim through the moat, but this is cool though. Definitely like him showcasing the vanilla speedrun tech. The major glitch categories are very interesting to watch if you haven't seen them before. You might want to check them out.
I think we'll see him do a minor glitch here to escape from, yeah. So this is legal in minor glitches, what Chex is about to do here to get out of the... There you go. So I'm not going to explain it now, but you do, you back off by 1 pixel and then you buffer a diagonal, then do the hook shot that gets you out of there. You need to slash or bomb one of the bushes to do it. But both players now in Village of Outcasts. Malmo got the, I believe it was Malmo. She got the Tower of Hera big key. So that will solve her problem. She doesn't need to beat Hera, but she wants to, I'm sure. So she'll be able to do it without hookshot. And she'll get her hammer if she does the Hera big chest with that. So that's valuable for her.
Yeah, well, so Malmo did get gloves in Skullwoods. I do kind of hope that draws her back towards the desert area. It's not going to take Chex very long to beat dungeons with hook pushing. It's extremely overpowered if you know how to do it.
So with gloves, Malmo has the opportunity to do the Sanctuary basement. And just before the match, one of the things she was practicing was a juke in that basement, which effectively gets you to the pyramid. So that would get her, if she were to do those two things, combo the basement with that juke, she would get her second sword. Right, so I think I saw Ether there for Meyer. And unfortunately, that's bad news for Malmo. She doesn't know Meyer is a pendant. So she could go in there and beat Vitreous for a pendant at this point. But is not going to. Chex is doing the front of Skullwood, so he'll get at least a glove. Probably not, well, I don't know how easy it is. Yeah, so he'll get a glove at least. I'm not sure he'll go for mitts, but we'll see.
It's worth noting for those that aren't aware that that is actually the big key chest, not the chest that's normally in that room. The Samaria transition corruption that they're using is also another trick in major glitches speedruns to get the fire rod more quickly by opening the big key from that chest. And conveniently, it also dupes the room above, and you can open it as many times as you want as well.
So Chex not interested in mitts.
And mitts don't do that much for them, but I mean, it is nice to have occasionally.
So nothing of particular interest in Hype Cave. Malmo is going to talk... No, she already knows the red crystals, I believe. Yeah, no reason to talk to the Super Bomb Shop owner.
Oh, this is really good. She's doing the river fought, her funny auto walk thing. She's going to get her sword on the pyramid. That's very important.
Yeah, so she could... We'll see if she thinks about duping the sword. She's going to get Pyramid Fairy with a slope swim. So she sees the sword. She'll get it later. So for people wondering about the format, the way it worked in this tournament, the winner of the winner's bracket was given a game in the finals. So that was Malmo. So she was given a free game in this best of 3 match. And then Chex won the first game, so it's even now. So the winner of this game will be the winner of the tournament. Alma does not attempt to dupe that sword, but she does get it. So that's very valuable for her. And she has to start thinking about go mode. She has that ice rod that Chex does not.
This go mode kind of sucks for her. If she gets the hook shot, it will not be that big a deal, but right now, I wouldn't expect her to start skipping checks. She's going to hammer pegs right now, so this is a good time to just think, because you're not doing anything other than swimming across the screen. But not checking hammer pegs, though.
Well, she doesn't have the hammer out of...
oh, right. Oh, yeah, that's true. Sorry. My mistake.
Oh. So this is unfortunate. It looks... I mean, she's got to be going to Meyer here, right? So the only good thing she could find here is the ice rod, which would make it a little difficult for Chex to find the ice rod.
She could find the 4th bottle as well, I believe, that Chex has the one she has.
I suppose
the
mirror would be another nice thing that would both be a speed item and it would make it convenient for her to find the hook shot. I suppose the flippers would also be nice, but Chex is on the path of crystal dungeons and Malmo is not. That is unfortunate for Malmo.
Yeah, definitely. But the flippers are probably the best thing she could find other than the hook shot, because Swamp is getting the Swamp Crystal without hook pushing or flippers is definitely not something you want to do unless you're one of the select few people in this tournament that know the entrance clippers, which is very different than the RMG fake clippers. It's a lot more difficult.
Big Kitty Meyer on Armos. Chex got to Armos with a hook push that was so fast we didn't really have time to explain what was happening, but it happened.
It's a very nice showcase of how overpowered it can be, going from the first room of the dungeon to the last room immediately.
Alright, so Chex knows his remaining crystals are ice and turtle rock. That's all he has left, I think. Let's see. No, swamp. He also has swamp. So he is going into Eastern. Oh, it looks like he's going to do a... I think that Eastern Big Key may have made up his mind.
Having a little trouble, though, rushing it a little bit. He was going to do a quadrant glitch, but he may have changed his mind.
Yeah, so... Half magic in Meyer for Malmo, not valuable. I mean, not very valuable. Not valuable enough to be worth the trip.
It's a safety, but yeah, it's not worth the time.
So Malmo does not have the hook shot. I don't think she can get to Vitreous with what she has, just a single bottle and no hook shot. So this is just for items for now. Chex. What's he gonna do?
I wonder what Chex is even looking for, actually, at this point.
Well, he needs an ice.
Oh, right, of course. Sorry.
So...
Keep forgetting that just... Well...
So... Eastern Big Key is in Eastern, and the flippers are in Eastern Big Chest, so that's where Malmo needs to go. So now, what's the best thing for him to find? Best thing for her to find Malmo here in Meyer would be Ice Rod, but she does not.
What Malmo needs to do is take a death here, so she'll be in the fake dark world, then she can transition to real light world and then get her hook shot in cave 45. Of course, she doesn't know that, but the hook shot is better than the flippers for her. It will speed her up dramatically.
So it looks like she's going to clip to Hera. I don't know why she would do that, given that she has the Hera big key.
This is for prize info. She wants to know if Myers a pendant or crystal.
Got it. Yeah, so she'll beat Moldorm in Meyer state, and that will give her the dungeon prize out of Meyer. So that will tell her that Meyer's a pendant. She does not need to beat Beatrice.
We're getting a flipper wrap from Chex. This is something more commonly seen in overworld glitches that maybe some people wished it was not in the logic, but you're doing this long process of several clips, you can get to Ice Palace without the mitts. Requires flippers and the Moon Pearl, or at least flippers and a link state, I should say.
So Chex is going to have a relatively straightforward Ice Palace with the Glove Hammer and Samaria. Now gets her Meyer pendant, so she has full crystal information now. I think she does, is that right? Yeah, because she knows Thieves is green. No, she does not have full. She is about to get it, though, from Hera.
Yes, once she gets back to Moldorm's room, she will have full info. I'm not sure why Chex was taking a death there.
It looked deliberate, right? I don't know why.
Yeah, I'm not sure why he was doing it deliberately, though. Like, he clearly wanted to steal the key, but taking a death isn't required to do that. I don't know.
Right, so confirmed, the hammer is there in that non-big chest of Hera. Right, so what Malmo is going to need is a troll location for that second ice rod. Otherwise, Chex has a pretty big advantage here.
We all want to see it on Trinex. It wouldn't be the first time in this tournament. I may be exaggerating a little bit, but maybe we don't all want to see it, but anything to tighten up the race.
So Chex not going back for the switch. I forget if he hit it anyway, but it's a big key. Alright, so sword, not an issue there.
Yeah, when you clip through and then hit the switch to get through, it's already in the correct position as long as you don't hit it twice.
So Malmo has the book out of Meyer Shed. So far, it leads to nothing on Ether Tablet, at least.
I wonder if she's going to use this fake world state to her advantage. It looks like she is. She's going to TR right now. Transitioning from fake light world to real dark world with a screen transition. Because she got to Hera through Meyer.
So she knows Turtle Rock is a crystal. Looks like she's going to beat it now.
She changed her mind. She was setting up the mirrorless wrap to Laser Bridge, but decided that she wanted to do some of these item checks first.
Alright, so Chex...
She might bail on the TR play entirely, I don't know.
Alright, so Chex skipped the big chest. Let's see. Oh, he does not have the ice big key. I thought he did, but I guess Malmo got that somewhere. Dumb.
That was on Zora Ledge, and Chex hasn't been to that area. I remember because she clipped and walked all the way around to get it.
Yep. So Chex abandoning, I believe, Ice Tea and the ice big chest. So there are a couple places now that would be terrible for Chex for that second ice rod to be. Did not see that item on Cold Stare.
I missed it as well, unfortunately. So Malmo into Turtle Rock, doing a North Samaria to get the lava chest out of the big chest.
Saves and quits?
And she's leaving. And doing a hard reset as well. Go left, Malmo, go left.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's just not sensible. It looks like she's going to do Ice Palace. That is sensible. She will get her sword here. So, Eastern and Ice are obvious plays for Malmo, so we're going to see Ice, then probably Eastern, then we'll have some decisions. She doesn't have Desert done, so she does have to do that. She does have to go that way at some point, so that seems... I mean, it seems likely she'd get her Ice Rod, Hookshot that way, right?
Yeah, and the only thing that would prevent that would be finding the flute, because then she might just skip over those checks that are on the way. But she would have to then activate the flute as well, which is questionable if that's worth it the longer the siege goes on.
Chex is in the rare no-logic position of just being able to beat Swamp the way Swamp is normally beaten, without glitches.
Although he hook pushed the front room instead of swimming through it, though.
Oh, no mirror. No mirror. Never mind. He did do a glitch.
He could have clipped from Hera if he wanted to have it flooded, but this is definitely faster.
It looks like he's saving a swamp key, I guess. And
Well, just doing that hook push is way faster than waiting for the cutscene.
Yep.
Yeah, I do that myself sometimes.
So Malmo has her third sword. Good news for her. So really the big question is, where's that second ice rod? It needs to be not free for Chex. Otherwise he has a huge advantage here.
Yeah, I mean, eventually the Zora area will... I don't know, I guess if you do Ice Rod Cave into those other checks, it's like 4 or 5 items. At some point that might be reasonable density, but I don't think that time is anytime soon, though.
Yeah,
I could be wrong.
I mean, you have to go to GT first, right? I mean, that's way higher density. You could be trying to do an anti-meta play there where you don't want to miss out on an early item the way he has, and for that reason you do the waterfall and Zora checks. But if he just goes for density, he has way better options than the waterfall fairy.
Yeah. I know it's hard to know, it just depends, because that other ice rod could be somewhere absolutely horrible.
So, Chex is going to have 6 crystals and only Turtle Rock left after this. Malmo still is going to need to do Eastern Desert and Swamp to catch up to Chex. The good news is some of the things she needs are on the way there. Hopefully she gets the flippers out of Eastern, and hopefully she gets the hook shot on her way to Desert.
Yeah, that's a good point. And if she opens the first chest of Eastern, she'll get the big key and she won't have to waste time deleting the door.
Alright, so Chex is out of crystal dungeons he can complete. So now we're going to see what he values in terms of density. Looks like proximate overworld is the answer for now.
Yeah, it makes sense to do the checks that are near you, because otherwise, when are you coming back for these? Absolutely never, probably. But, I don't know, he could bail. I think Turtle Rock is a reasonable play as well. You could just hope it's there.
Well, so we're doing the dig game, and Meyer Shed at least is right there. He could go into Meyer. He has 2 medallions, and one of them is the one he needs. Meyer's kind of slow though. GT is calling.
GT is always calling and no logic if you're missing something. And having the hammer and hookshot and Samaria and Fire Rod, he can literally just do it normally. Like, we can get the items in GT without having the vanilla requirements, but having them just makes it really quick.
So Malmo headed to Eastern. We'll see how much of it she does. But what she...
Yeah, you have to get the first check right, though. It's pretty quick, I mean... If she skips that, that's just gonna make the dungeon, like, literally take twice as long, because she'll have to delete the door.
Yeah, still thinks she needs, so there's no real reason for her to do skips yet, and Chex is now on the path to go mode.
Yeah. He'll probably follow this up with the opener we saw from Malmo earlier.
Yeah, so... hard to see Malmo catching up if Chex does indeed get the Ice Rod out of Waterfall Fairy here. He even has Aga 2 done already, that Malmo does not. Arms the water walk, and that just about seals it, given what he's gonna do. Oh, right. You do the, yeah. Has the flippers, so he's still gonna water, yeah.
Yeah, funny how flippers make the water check slower in glitched modes. But you are right, he's almost certainly about to be in go mode. It's crazy. This race came down at least partially to an unfortunate heart piece placement.
Yep, so what we're talking about there is Malmo probably was going to get K45 after doing Desert, but she got a heart piece on the right side of Desert and could not death warp easily out of it. So she abandoned that route with a save and quit and has still not gone back to get her hook shot.
Chuck's doing a TR climb. He's gonna walk back around and do the mirrorless rep that we almost saw from Malmo earlier. This is a really cool trick. There's a lot of steps involved, but it's really useful to know. Oh, misses it. I don't know if his setup was either a little off or if he just... It looked like a quick hop. Huh. Maybe he was too low. I don't know, that trick can be a little bit finicky, but usually once you know it, you know it. I'm really surprised that he missed it. He's probably a little bit nervous. Oh, Malmo's heading in the right direction, but unfortunately...
Too little, too late.
Just plowed through this seed at a ridiculous pace.
Yeah, that hookshot has done its work. He's been able to do things faster than Malmo because of it up to this point.
Oh, I see what I'm surprised it worked that time. It looked like he did. I go up a little bit farther just to be safe with this clip, but he gets it that time, no problem.
So Malmo, yeah, should be in go mode despite having only one bottle. I think that's fine.
Yeah, with a seed like this, definitely. Having the Moon Pearl definitely takes the weight off of bottles, especially. I don't know, it just depends on your skill set and the rest of the item loadout. It's one of the interesting things about no logic.
Alright, so Chex, neither player has the Turtle Rock Big Key. Chex is going to use his boomerang. I believe he's going to use his boomerang.
It looks like he's trying to do the all bosses hook push, actually. If he was using the boomerang, he would be setting up a stuck hook. Yeah, this is the Samaria hook push.
Okay.
Very nicely done. There is a slightly safer way to do that, which is slower, where you take the block all the way to the other side with you, but it's definitely doable the way he just did it. We haven't really talked about it. Oh, Malmo doing a stuck push in Desert. But what hook pushing essentially is manipulating the data that the game reads regarding where the hook shot is supposed to move Link. And so,
and how long
as you can see, we can fly through walls. Yeah, we can fly through walls and just do all kinds of things with that.
Oh, that's where the Misery Mire map was. It was on Landmo. Unfortunately, Chex with a 3 dungeon-ish lead. Turtle Rock, Agatu, and Swamp. So those are the things Malmo needs to do. Chex is probably about to do our tracker's favorite glitch, which is a moat clip. No. He's going to...
he forgot he did Agatu, maybe? Or he just is going to take a free warp.
Yeah, so when you enter the Agatu arena after defeating Agatu, you will simply be fluted to the top of the pyramid the way you would if you defeat Agatu. So this will get him there.
This is actually pretty quick. I may have spoke too soon, but it is possible that sometimes you forget that you did Agatu if you do it early, but yeah, this is a very quick way. That he just did a quadrant glitch combined with a North Samaria or Samaria Transition Corruption. One of the many ways we can access the Agatu fight in this mode.
Yeah, so the red lettering on Chex's timer suggests this will not be a PB for him, but I don't know. I think maybe he has a 101, but this is going to be close to a PB. This will be one of the fastest no logic seeds Chex has ever done.
Well, when you get hook pushing that early, it pretty much turns into the all bosses no EG speedrun, which Chex has a very good time at. He's in the top 5. I'm not sure exactly where he is. He might be second or third, actually.
So Malmo is working on opening the swamp. Opening swamp from Hera.
Which is odd. She doesn't need to do this at all. Or she can just hook push from the front to get the crystal and then death hold to Argus from Desert to get the boss kill part, but I mean, this definitely works too.
And Ganon is down for Chex.
Let's get your GGs in chat for Chexhuman, who has finished with an official time of 1 hour, 4 minutes, and 13 seconds. Very well played by Chex.
Malmo looks like will finish out the siege. He gives him a GG but does not forfeit. So I think we'll see Malmo finish out here. She is in go mode.
It won't take her long to finish at this point.
Looks like she might be getting... Is she going to Harrow or is she just bypassing the...
She's just bypassing the flooding requirement, is what it looks like to me.
Or not.
I don't know, there's a lot of ways you can do that. Have not used that particular setup, personally.
And
we are joined by Chexhuman. Congratulations.
Thanks, GG.
Good game. So I'm not sure what your PB is, but I think this is close.
I got a sub-hour at some point in the last few weeks, so this is a bit above that. We're plus 4 minutes and 19 seconds.
So just sub-hour, all right.
Yeah.
And that'll happen when you get everything right away, right?
Yeah, including ice rod.
Yeah. So unfortunately, yeah. So the big difference in this was Malmo opened and got the ice rod right away. So that was a big question whether you were when you were gonna go back there and where the second ice rod might be. We have not seen the second ice rod.
I know Malmo's route, so my heart sank a bit when I saw that, but
yeah.
I knew I had to keep going.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you were protected by the heart piece in the big key chest of desert. So what happened there was Malmo got a full heal on the right side of desert and did not get the hook shot until you were almost done.
Wow. Wait, I'm confused. Remind me where hookshot was?
A45.
Oh, yeah. Okay, right. Yikes.
Yeah, that was very unfortunate for Malmo, and it's interesting. I often don't route the desert area the way most people do because there's so many items that can be helpful in desert, even if it's just the big key or, there's a number of items that would be good. But, like, nobody generally checks the surrounding area, like, first, though, before they go in, so... Malmo just decided to abandon K45 and Agina. It was really unfortunate, but it's understandable, though.
So, what was your thinking there? You could have cleaned up the water checks that Malmos opens with, or you could have gone to GT. So how'd you make your decision there? You just wanted to protect against Malmo's route?
Yeah, for sure. I knew I hadn't done any pendant dungeons. I knew that Fire Rod could be a potential advantage. I didn't expect to have an advantage in any other way, but GT would be next. Yeah.
So Malmo is working on Turtle Rock. She has that and Aga 2 to do before she finishes up here.
She did that bomb clip to the glitch spot that I should have done, but I kept forgetting and doing the TR climb.
I have a question, Chex. Do you think that doing the quadrant glitch STC in the front of TR was your fastest possible route to get back to the pyramid? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, but I'm just wondering what your thought was about that particular routing.
I haven't timed it, unfortunately, but I have done it before and it just seems fast.
It seemed fast to me too, since you got it like right away, first try, no problem.
it starts to drag when I miss pause buffers, but I'm not sure. Like a lot of things, I haven't timed it.
So you got to do a lot of things there.
Oh no,
You-
Malmo's out of bombs. Are you kidding? Oh boy.
So you were able to, you did hook push to the top of GT. Yeah, so your early hook shot, you got a bottle out of Hookshot Cave and another at the top of GT. Malmo has neither of those, so she has one bottle.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so that's made the seed quite different for her, I suppose.
Yep. You
But-
did your overworld hook push to escape the pyramid screen, and then you got to escape the Hammer Pegs area.
Yeah, all bosses practice finally paying off here to get these random checks.
So Malmo did a nice backup there. Or, oh no, maybe something went wrong. She was trying to use the Samaria hook push and use the fire rod to set distance because she ran out of bombs for her stuck push. Looks like unfortunately she didn't. Oh, okay. It was just the buffering was a little bit off, so she did get it. That was a really good backup plan. Sorry for interrupting. I just want to explain if anyone was curious what was going on there.
Oh, that was very nice. I thought we were resetting.
Yeah, that's cool. I think
So another part of this is Malmo totally cleared out the front of Meyer because she did not get that early Meyer map from Landmo.
oh my gosh.
So she did Meyer and then got the Meyer prize out of Hera to scout it. So
Okay. In this seed, I was definitely going to, if I had no knowledge of Turtle Rock and couldn't deduce it, I would have gone to Turtle Rock very early to basically dupe the pendant or prize, see what it was.
oh yeah, because you were basically rods short of go mode,
Yeah.
depending on whether Turtle Rock was a pendant.
Now that's really interesting. So what method would you have used to dupe the TR crystal?
Triple STC from.
Oh, in the upside down tea room?
Yeah.
Okay, I've seen that one before. I was just curious. I know there's at least a couple different ways.
It would be pretty, it would be pretty time consuming. But the difference between I don't know. It would be pretty time consuming. I don't know if it would be worth it, but
It'd be
I
also
would,
time consuming to look for rods that you don't need.
yeah.
And knowledge is power, you know. So Malmo did a different combination of quadrant glitch and STC also to get to Agatu. It's a little bit of an older setup, but it works, and I think it is a little bit easier.
Yeah, it's also good if you. So part of select buffering is sometimes you buffer 2 frames, right? And then you miss your point on the quadrant. So then on a track, you have to backtrack to get back to your place. If you go for the first room quadrant glitch, then you can just keep going along the track and try again in the next room. So.
Oh wow, that's a good point. Maybe I should learn the first one then.
Yeah, it can be a little bit of a time saver. Like if you're in the second room and you miss the quadrant, then you have to go back on the track, and then that's also slightly time consuming.
All right, so Chex, at some point, you were almost in go mode, except maybe for unknown rods and a second sword, your first being in Paradox Cave. Would you have been willing to tree warp that Paradox Cave sword?
I think so, yeah. It's actually been a couple of races since I've done a tree warp. So I'd be slightly nervous, but at this point I'm practiced enough to avoid the hard lock. Thanks to Haikyuu Type for some advice there. Early on in this tournament.
Yes, one of our strong advocates for tree warping, and I agree, it's too powerful to ignore. In some seeds, it just makes things so much easier.
Malmo has just enough silver arrows to get Ganon with them. So she'll wait for him to come down, finish off easily. Ooh, I don't know if you can soft lock trying to shoot with 0 arrows. You can soft lock trying to shoot the fire rod with no magic, though. Looks like you can soft lock trying to shoot the bow with no arrows.
Due to the soft lock, perhaps.
That is something
Good to know.
Yeah. Word of caution here.
I didn't know that.
I was not that familiar with this soft lock. I think I've seen it before. But I think I'm more familiar with the fire rod version.
I wasn't expecting that.
So I'll have to see, but I would think we're going to be joined by Malmo in a minute here. So Chex, you're gonna get your name on that sign on the on East Death Mountain.
It's an honor.
I don't want to talk about
GG.
Good game, Malmo.
Oh, goodness. What a way to end a tournament, huh?
Yeah, so you were spamming the bow. I knew about the soft lock with the fire rod. I wasn't sure
I didn't
about
know
the
this
bow.
either. I thought you had the item dash to get the soft lock. I didn't know that just spamming it was enough.
Thanks for letting us know. I won't do that.
Yeah, I end on learning a new glitch, right? I can say that I'm the last one to learn a glitch in the tournament, even though I'm sure there's plenty of people out there who know that this can happen and were screaming at me when they watched.
Yeah, so I imagine you have inferred this, but the hook shot was the difference.
The hook shot, yeah. No, it wasn't the hook shot. It was the heart piece.
The heart piece and the
yes.
The desert big key chest.
Yes.
Yeah. So something that made it interesting, made it potentially competitive, was that Chex did not do your opening with the Hobo Waterfall Zora area, so he was looking for the ice rod for a long time.
Ooh, but the cane was there too, wasn't it?
No, Kane was in Spiral Cave.
Oh, okay, yeah, you're right. I was thinking of a different seed.
You might be thinking of Mushroom on the island.
Mushroom didn't amount to anything.
Nope. So the hookshot was really everything, and then on top of that, the sneaky Meyer map on Landmo was valuable.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, so if you have the hookshot, you can do Landmo and get that info early and not have to do what I did, where you dupe Meyer at Hera and find out both are pendants and cry a little bit inside.
So.
Oh my gosh. Did you find out the Meyer prize before the Hera prize?
Yeah, I went to Moldorm in Meyer State with the express purpose of finding out what the prizes were, because I was in go mode. Well, kind of go mode. I didn't have a swamp plan yet that didn't involve Castle Tower. I had only one bottle, so I would have to do that try next door delete that I learned yesterday, and I kind of don't remember it. But I was hoping I'd find a bottle on the way. Flippers are in the big chests of Eastern, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah, you both found all the same items in the end.
Well, aside from the 2 bottles, Chex got in Hookshot Cave and Upper GT, that was kind of also rude placements.
Oh, right, yeah. I mean, not if you have the hookshot, you don't need the second bottle. The second bottle for me was just for Trinex. I didn't need it for anything else.
Well, for most of the race, you didn't have either, though, so we were a little bit concerned. But yeah, it's like you said, though, that heart piece was very unfortunate to have such a role in the course of the race.
Yeah, but at the same time, like, was I really gonna beat Chex? Like, he is so fast. 104, that's insane. That is, I mean, I think that's my best time, 104. I don't think I've ever gotten faster than that.
I mean, Chex is human. It says in his name.
I disagree. I think your name is a false advertisement. But I'll tell you,
Yeah, that's
I'm going to look forward to reading your name on the land bridge sign every time I bonk on it.
And when you're 1 game ahead in the Hybrid Major Glitches tournament.
Yes. The Hybrid Major Glitches tournament, which will definitely be next year. Because we have a pattern for glitch tournaments now. Every other year will be no logic and something with logic.
I mean, do we really have to do 1 a year, or can't we do 2 someday?
Well, you know, funny you should ask about that because when this ends, I'm going to start getting to work on the mentor tournament for glitch modes. That's going to be in January. So keep an ear out for that. That's going to be, it's not going to go all the way up to no logic, but it's going to be like the first one, but with HMG in it and probably some new faces. So if you're interested in that, keep an eye out for the ping. I'll make sure that it gets around.
Yeah, and a big thank you to Malmo, who's been doing so much work for all of this Major Glitches stuff, including being an admin of this tournament. We have had many new faces in this tournament. Someone was making the joke, I think it was Frame, saying that, or maybe Tam, that we did a multi-world with all the no logic people. And it was 5 people, once upon a time, a couple years ago. And now we have a huge no logic tournament with people I've never seen before.
Yeah, it's been a ton of fun. So thank you again for organizing Malmo and all the admins involved. It's been a lot. It's been so challenging. Fun to learn a lot. Fun to practice. JD has always been there for races, and that's been a lot of fun. So yeah, thanks to everyone.
Yeah, I look forward to it. Just one last thank you to everybody who played and everybody who volunteered, and for SpeedGaming for being very patient with me and putting on restreams for almost every race. That is incredible.
And today, thank you to JD for doing comms, and other Tom, who has tracked this race and many others in this tournament. And thank you, everybody, for watching.
Thank you to Mad Ewok Herd. Sorry, let's not forget Mad Ewok Herd for always helping us out with Restream and other things as well. They have been very helpful over the course of the tournament, not just today.
Yeah, a lot of behind-the-scenes people with SpeedGaming. Also, Drossi comes to mind, having done the SpeedGaming side of the setup for a lot of these races. So, thank you everybody for watching. I think we will end it here. I don't know the future schedule for SpeedGaming. You've just been hearing about the future plans for Major Glitches tournament. So keep an eye out for those if you want to get interested. It sounds like the next iteration will be a mentor tournament. No details on that yet, I think. Is that right?
Yeah, I promised myself I wouldn't start planning until this tournament's over because I know how I am.
Yeah, all right. So, thank you everybody for watching. I think that will be it for us. Have a nice night.
Congratulations again to Chex and Chi-Chi to everybody in the tournament. And thank you to our admins. Thank you for watching.